Every day I look at the calendar and it's one day closer to April 15th, and I'm not ready. I'm not even close to ready. I don't know what to do.
You're listening to Practical Tax with tax attorney Steve Moskowitz.
Hi, I'm tax attorney Steve Moskowitz with longtime Moskowitz tax attorney Liz Prehn. April 15th is almost here, and you're just not ready. We understand. We see it all the time. Liz, what are some ways that we can help?
Well, I think it's important to know your rights. As a taxpayer, you can file an extension to get your books together. If there's some adjustments that need to be reviewed by your tax attorney, that's very common. There's a few rules that go with the extension, which is, it's an extension of time to file the return, but not an extension of time to pay. What we do in our practice is we take a look with the client, their books, the records, what the issues are, try to come up with an estimate. There's a rule of thumb, 110%. Oftentimes, people are coming to a tax attorney because an anomaly happened, that something happened. They sold some properties, they came into some money, or there was a theft. There was something that happened that year which was kind of rare for them. So they're looking for advice on what to do. And so that usually puts us in the position where 110% doesn't quite meet the muster, right? Nobody wants to be giving the government an interest-free loan either. So what we do then is sit down, try to come up with the best estimate, file the extension. That gives you an additional time to get the taxes prepared and get the positions defined, and then file in October.
And it's very important to file that extension by the due date, because if you don't, the penalty is 5% a month or 25% a year. So that means if you came in and you owed $100,000, you would owe an extra $25,000, $125 in my example, just because you didn't file the extension. So it's so vitally important. And everybody should go ahead and file an extension that's not filing by the due date. Some people think, they'll do it later. No, it's really important to do it on or before the due date.
I think so. I think our clients benefit just getting it done, having the peace of mind that it's filed. There is the theory that if they're going to get a refund, it's no foul, no harm.
Here's how the whole extension process works. It changes your due date from April 15th till October 15th. However, from experience, please don't wait until October 14th to start putting your records together. And if you do that, what happens is so many people cheat themselves because they don't have enough time to get all their deductions. This way, if you go on extension, that gives you half a year. You don't have to work on it every day, but don't put it off. And the other thing, too, is it's important. If you work on it early, sometimes you need to get something from a third party. If you call them up on October 14th, he or she's probably not going to be able to give it to you in time. You have plenty of time, but start working on it now.
We have a client, great client, fun business, really is great at what they do, but they're not great with their paperwork. And there's 3 different businesses, which actually works out well for them just by virtue of how the entities are organized. But the books were a mess. And they came in, and the principal of the businesses basically said, well, I don't really file. I haven't filed in years. I don't really file. I'll just wait and see. Just do what you can do, right? So, which we get a lot. We get that a lot. And that's very human. And it's a reality of trying to do business and keep up with their paperwork and being good at what you do, but maybe not with paperwork. So we, after talking to Steve, of course, Steve is very methodical and he's got a process, and it's a proven process. And he said, well, we're going to take over, and what we do is we file extensions, and we're going to work through this. And we just got him on a monthly program where we just met twice a month for 3 or 4 months, got all the back books fixed up, was able to file his current year return on time by that October, what ultimately ended up being September and October deadlines for him, and got that done in a way that saved him, a lot of money. The penalties are late, and it's just so easy to let it snowball and be lax with it. It's really just a free money for the government.
Think of the tax return like the Olympics. That's what's televised. That's what everybody looks at. You see people running around the track. It takes a relatively short period of time. The real work in the Olympics is not the actual game. It's the 4 years of preparation for the game. And that's exactly what Liz is talking about. The more preparation you do, the better result that you can get.
If you have a simple return and you're not ready to file, or if you have a complex return and you're not ready to file, I think bottom line, file that extension. It's just going to save you penalties. You can do it through your attorney, your accountant. You can do it online at the IRS.gov. Big picture that I think people sometimes most often miss, sadly, is that it's an extension to file the return. It's not an extension to pay.
You've been listening to Practical Tax with tax attorney Steve Moskowitz. To hear more podcasts, go to MoskowitzLLP.com.
The information contained in this podcast is based on information available as of the date of its release. Moskowitz LLP and Extensions is under no obligation to update this information as changes occur. Applying this information to your specific situation requires careful consideration of all factors which may be applicable, and any information is not to be considered tax advice or legal advice. Further, this is attorney advertising, and the factual and legal circumstances described are dependent on the facts of that particular case. Individual case results will differ based on different facts, law, and other factors. Please consult your tax advisor before acting on any matters discussed.